we're back. We're back. So here we are at the Warrior Healing Center. Now I've got to explain. It's been 3 weeks now since we've been aired. We were on purpose. We shut down for Thanksgiving because we do this every Thursday. So obviously we weren't here for Thanksgiving. But then last week we had a guest here. We were all lined up, and the internet was down. So we had no internet in the entire building. There was nothing we could do. So that show got canceled. So we're back though.
Good.
We're back. Eric's back. Eric, show your beautiful face. There he is. See, Eric's back. I'm back. And we have a new guest. And I'm going to introduce him. I'm going to let him pronounce his
to a gentleman in New Mexico.
Am I good now? On the sound? Let us know when you're here. Okay. I guess everybody can hear us okay? We just a question about the sound. If anybody's listening, let us know if the sound's good on your end.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So back to the canes. All right.
If you go on our website, it's caneclub.org,
Clean. Okay.
and you can print out an application, and we'll make a cane for you.
Wow. No charge?
No charge.
So a vet needs a cane, just goes to the website. Eric, we're gonna post that website.
Yep. In a moment.
He's gonna get that. Eric will get that website for us. Put in an application, and now, do they get to pick what cane they want, or how's it work?
Well, we need their size. The size of a cane is very important. You can get away with a cane that's an inch too long, but if it's a half inch too short, it's going to throw a kink in your back.
Yeah.
So it has to be properly measured.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if anyone's using a cane now and it works for them, they can measure that. Or if they don't have a cane and want one, if you stand up, I tell people to stand and put their hands down at their side. Well, everybody goes stiff armed. No one stands like that.
Right.
When you stand, you always have a bend to your arm. I don't know. It's just a natural position to stand with your arms bent slightly, and you measure to the top of the wrist, from the ground to the top of the wrist.
Okay,
And that should do her.
So this first one, we're going to show it. This is one you made for a vet, right?
Yep, a vet in New Mexico.
Okay, I'm gonna hopefully. I don't know if I think they can see it. You can see the American. I'm gonna bring it in real close to the camera. Let's see if they can. It's a little blurry, but American flag. This is a Marine.
That's for a Marine.
You
Yep.
got the rank on there. The American flag, the Marine Corps emblem, his ribbons,
Always ribbons.
and a medal. So this is wonderful. And what does it say? We the people of the United. Oh, that's cool. How it. You have to twist it to read it all the way down. And then you got his name down here. Or no, your
That's
name,
my name.
that made it.
His
We
name's
won't
on-
say his name.
His name's on the handle.
We won't announce his name to the world.
Okay.
He may not want.
All right.
You know?
Yep.
But there it is right there. With a nice look at the eagle head. That is sharp. And United States Marine Corps. Wow. Look at that. And you made this. Gorgeous. All wood, nice wood. What wood is this one made out of?
This is poplar, and the handle, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is.
Okay.
But that's
Okay. And that's all it takes for a veteran to get a cane.
yep.
Wow.
We've given away. Well, there are a number of clubs in the U.S. that do this. The Michigan club. Michigan is different than Pennsylvania, where I came from. They have people that carve handles. They have people that turn the shaft. They have people that do the lettering, and then they put them all together and send them out.
Mm-hmm.
Where we do it one at a time from the application we get. So everyone makes them a little bit different. This is a design I make. If you go on our website, you can see pictures of probably 250 guys that have gotten canes from us. Michigan has given over 1,200 away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, if I want a particular type of cane and a type of wood, is that included in?
It's up to the guy that makes it.
Oh, okay. Other than the size. So
Right.
once you got the size, you decide what you're going to make for them.
And then we take all their information off their DE 214,
Mhm.
which we require with an application.
Oh, gotcha.
And that gives us all their ribbons and whatever.
Right. Okay. And so you select the design that you're going to do for this individual.
Yeah, this is the way I make mine.
Okay. And you got a couple more over here to show.
Yeah.
What else are you going to show? Oh,
This was
say that my favorite one for last. That would no, the other one.
the other
The
one.
other one's my favorite one already.
Okay.
All right.
When I was young and foolish, I used to do hill climbs, automobile hill climbs.
Really? Okay.
And there was a hill behind the Hershey Hotel in Pennsylvania where we ran, and they had run for a good number of years and then stopped, and then they started back up again. And the hill had not been used at all. It was the road was sealed off and closed, so it had overgrown where people used to sit and watch the hill climb. It was all underbrush. So we went in and cleaned it all out, and one of the guys cut this down and he was hauling it down, was going to throw it in the chipper. And I said, no.
Yeah, no.
I said, no, you're not going to throw that in the chipper.
That's
So these are some of the cars I ran, some I ran against. And that's all cars.
so there's this hill near Hershey, Pennsylvania, or Hershey Hotel. Is
Yeah.
that in Hershey, Pennsylvania?
Yep.
And there's a hill that you could actually drive up, but it was dangerous.
15 corners.
15 corners.
The road is narrow and it's full of trees.
Yeah.
It's like driving through a tunnel.
So you got to have some nerve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one car up the hill at a
Wow.
time against the clock.
And you got a lot of different cars on here, a lot of different makes and models. And who made this one?
I did.
You made this one too?
Yep.
Wow. So you carved every individual car in there, plus all the cuts in here.
The what you think are cuts was created by a honeysuckle vine.
A what?
A honeysuckle vine.
Oh, really?
Honeysuckle will grow up around a tree, and then it forces the tree to grow around because it chokes it. So the groove you see was where the vine was, and the tree grew up around the vine.
Wow.
So Mother Nature created that.
Okay.
I carved the cars on, but
That makes it even more special, I think. So a vine cut that. Well, it didn't cut it through. It grew around it, and then the wood had to wrap around the vine.
it's like have you ever seen a barbed wire fence against a tree and the
Yeah.
tree grows around it? That same thing happened there.
So it's kind of like they just got along together. They're like, okay, you're growing around me. I'll just work around you.
And
So
two vines will twist a stick like that. Honeysuckle and bittersweet. This is honeysuckle. Bittersweet grows in the opposite direction. So one grows clockwise, the other goes counterclockwise.
The stuff you know. How do you know all this stuff? I guess it's because from where you're at.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the stuff that from growing up there, and you know this. That is just wow. I don't know. I'm not sharing. I'm enjoying it, and I'm gonna try to show it to you. Okay, you can make out the vehicles. Yeah, we don't have the best camera in the world for detail. I'm glad you held it closer. I thought it was a duck until I saw that was the other cane. Okay. All right. Yep.
I try to make it look like an eagle.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't look like a duck.
Okay. So, and then look, she's got a head on the top of a racer. Somebody with a helmet on, like a car racer on the top. So I think hopefully they get a good view of that. Very colorful. You can see the vine cuts. I'll call them vine cuts. Can I call them that?
Sure.
Okay. That's my word for it. Vine cuts in the wood. Very unique. Very neat. George made that one too. All right. We got one more cane to show off. This one, yeah.
This is the only piece of wood I ever picked up and knew what it had to be.
Yeah.
This was a cedar tree that had been knocked over by a fallen tree. And it grew back up and it grew up straight. But when it got knocked over, it split the trunk. And the bark grew into the split. And that's what creates the dragon's mouth.
Wow. So you just worked around that with the wood.
It was probably this wide to start with.
And created that. That is so cool. I think they can make this out real well. Look at that. Look at that dragon head. That is awesome. I told you this is my favorite. Look at that. He's got teeth. He's got the spikes on the top of his head. The scales on the side. This thing's gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous.
Now, if you've ever done any woodworking, you know knots are very hard, harder than the rest of the wood.
Right.
when I finished the dragon, I wondered what am I going to do with the rest of the shaft? And I thought, well, it's a mythical creature, so I'll carve mythical creatures. The problem was there's so many knots that it would have made it hard to carve, so I turned all the knots into flowers. See,
Oh,
the knots-
okay.
the knots
Oh.
are the center of the flowers.
Gotcha. Okay. What does this say up here?
That's rune,
Like Viking runes?
Viking runes.
Okay.
Vikings didn't have a written language, but they used runes, and each symbol meant something. And there was a program on the internet that I typed in my name, and that came up. After I wood burned it in, then I read a little bit farther and found out you're supposed to pronounce or spell it phonetically instead of actually. So this is George, George, but it should have been Jorj or something,
Gotcha.
So the runes aren't correct, but it's close.
Oh, it's close.
Close enough for government work.
Yeah, I actually do know about runes. I actually have studied a little bit about being Scandinavian. I've
Okay.
studied a little bit. I actually have a set of runes at home. So yeah, and we have a Pegasus on there. We have a wizard on there, a unicorn. What's this guy down here? Bear?
It's a bear.
That's a bear. It looked like a bear. And a reindeer.
Reindeer, yeah.
Or deer, a reindeer, and a wild boar.
Yep.
So a number of creatures on here. Oh, here we go, a griffin.
Do you know what this is?
Besides being a compass,
That's a Viking compass.
a Viking compass.
And the lure has it that if you have a Viking compass, you'll never get lost. And so far, I've not been lost.
So it works.
It works.
Well, that's proof. And how long have you had this?
Oh, I forget what year I made this. I always date my things. So it's on here somewhere. 05.
05. So it hasn't been lost since 05, so I think it works.
I've taken some back roads that I didn't know where I was at the time, but always got there.
Now, is that your cane?
Yeah.
That's your own person.
When I take it to shows, they make me put a price on it. So I figured I don't want to sell it. I'll put a $1,200 price tag on it, and I'm scared to death somebody's going to take it.
One day, you're going to run into somebody and they're going to go, I've got that in petty cash.
Yeah.
I've got that right here, and they're going to want to buy it. Then what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to cry.
Of course, for $1,200, I don't know. That's somebody might buy that for $1,200. To be serious, you might have to go up because it's so unique, and the craftsmanship is excellent. So,
well, every walking stick is different. You can't make two alike,
right?
Because the wood's different.
Yeah.
And sometimes the wood dictates how you're going to shape it and whatever. So
Wow.
You never get two canes alike.
Okay, so Eric, here we have a veteran that has a sort of a business. It's more of an organization.
Well,
And
I'm a hobbyist.
he's a hobbyist, and he does all this work and for free for other veterans.
That's amazing.
What can I say?
Right?
What can I say?
Giving back.
That's it. I mean, I just want to thank you, and
Hey, we get more out of it than we put into it.
yeah,
Since when I was back in Pennsylvania, before I moved out here, we would get veterans to come into our meetings, our club meeting, and receive their cane. And we've got these guys, World War II vets, never talked about their service, even to their family a lot of times.
Mhm.
They'd come to our meetings and they'd tell us stories that just blow your mind.
Yeah. My dad was like that with Vietnam. He served in Vietnam, and I won't even share it because it's too well, what's the word? It's just too much.
Yeah.
But I think I was about 17 years old, and he finally pulled me off to the side and said, I've got to get something off my chest. And he never even told my mom. And my older brother, he didn't tell my older brother, but he was already out of the house. So I guess I was the one he finally settled on, that he shared something with me, which was pretty brutal. And I could tell it was something that was just eating at him. And he just had to share it with somebody.
Yeah.
So I was glad I was there that he could share it with.
We had one gentleman, he was so tickled with his cane that the next morning he took it to a coffee shop and he showed everybody. I mean, he didn't go anywhere without it. He had a heart attack. And before they could put him on the stretcher, he had to get his cane.
Yeah.
Took it to the hospital with him. About
Yeah.
2 months later, he finally passed away, and he was buried with it. So, it means a lot to these guys.
Yeah.
And it means a lot to us because they'll come and tell stories that
And unfortunately, it's changed from World War II and even Vietnam time, because back then, men felt like they had to bury everything. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I mean, that's changed. And right here at the Warrior Healing Center is proof of that. I mean, people realize now, you got something that's eating at you, get some help. Even if you just stop in and just chat with somebody.
just talk it out.
Just talk. That's half the time. That's all it takes is just say, hey, I got to get something off my chest, and then somebody willing to sit down and listen to you and say, okay, all right. So fortunately, that's changed from back then when, because you think about World War II and all the stuff that happened, and yeah, they had to come back and just keep it to themselves, because it was like, oh, well, you were weak if you.
Well, they didn't want to forget it. They didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah. So
it was over and done. They did their job and came home.
they did come home to a big party though.
Yeah. Unlike Vietnam.
Unlike Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom was in Brooklyn, New York as a young woman when the war ended. And I'm pretty sure my mom,
Brooklyn Navy Yard.
she was probably one of those women there to greet them when they came off the boats back from Europe and give plenty of kisses away. You know what I
They
mean?
deserved it.
Yeah. So anyway, so you got some more stuff to show us. Well, let's look at this guy over here. What we got over here?
This is my dog.
Okay.
Now, when I first started carving wood, I had no idea what I was doing. I did everything with a 1/2-inch wood chisel. And this is a copy of my dog. So I took a picture of the dog, blew it up on the computer, and then traced it on the wood, and then carved it away. And that's all one piece of wood. That's not a dog put in there, a frame.
Oh, the
This is
frame and the
frame
dog
is
is all one piece?
All one piece.
Oh, okay.
And I've made a lot of those for people.
Wow.
It's a little dusty. I just took it off.
No,
the
but you
wall.
got the, I mean, these
This was done with a router,
yeah,
but the dog and everything was done with a chisel.
nice. Is it dog still here?
No, he's
he-
dead and gone.
Oh, he's passed,
He's
huh?
dead and gone.
So this is your memory of this dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of those for people in our dog club where they give me a picture of their dog and I'll carve it.
Oh, you got a dog club too.
Oh, yeah.
So you're a member of a cane club.
My wife's the dog person. I'm a pooper picker upper. She does the dog training.
Do you make anything that you sell, or is this all just stuff you do for other people?
I sell canes and walking sticks.
Oh, you
And
do?
I also
Okay.
sell wooden spoons.
Okay, we're gonna get into the spoons.
So these are maple spoons, all hand carved
Maple wood. Okay.
and very usable.
Yes.
They're meant to be used.
I know what this is for. Okay. I have to be honest. Before this show, I was like, "Oh, what's the little nut for?" And then he had to explain it to me. So, yeah, it's for the pot.
Set on the side of the pot.
Yeah, holds the spoon in place. You can stir. You're not putting it on the counter, getting the counter
Or
dirty,
letting it fall down in the
or
pot.
letting it fall down the pot. Very clever. So, yeah, nice wood. I actually just love the feel of wood. Oh, you got the wood type on there,
Yep,
maple,
these are all maple.
and then your initials. So this is something you will sell to people. Make these wood, and
And I will
So-
be Saturday. I'll be at the Ethelberger Center for their Christmas sale,
okay,
and I
We-
do the first Saturdays at the mall.
all right.
in Sierra Vista.
So we need to get that in. So first Saturdays of every month,
Pretty much. Yeah.
pretty much at the mall, and you bring the wooden items like the spoons that you do sell.
Yeah.
And that they can purchase.
Yep.
And then if you did have a vet that wanted to get the application, they could probably talk to you too
Sure.
if they wanted to do that. But yeah, if you want to buy some wood, it'd be great Christmas time. Are you
Oh,
gonna?
they make nice Christmas gifts.
Yeah, Christmas time.
Everybody can use a wooden spoon.
So, which Saturday?
Saturday,
December.
This Saturday is what, the 10th.
Yep.
I'll be at the Ethelberger Center for the Christmas Bazaar.
On the 10th.
And then the 17th, I'll be at the mall.
Okay. So
It's
they
not
got,
the first Saturday, but the 17th is a small business sale at the mall.
okay. What time on this Saturday at the
I think it's 9 to 5.
9 to 5? And then what are the hours in the mall on
Same.
the 17th? 9 to
Same.
5. Okay.
9 to 5.
So you have two opportunities to come look at his work. You can see right here the quality. I mean, this is just beautifully. That's a perfect spoon, a perfectly carved wooden spoon. Actually gorgeous, and the fill is wonderful. I mean, just
Yeah, there's a feel to wood that you don't get with
No.
any other medium.
no. I've always been very, very partial to wood everything. Love it. So, and the nice thing about wood too, correct me if I'm wrong, but like why they make wood cutting boards is because it almost sanitizes itself. I've always been told that.
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's
Well, back in my day, I used to be corporate security for a big food service company. So I did security, safety, and then I even got a little bit into food safety. And they would talk about the fact that when you use a wood cutting board, wood itself will kind of like cleanse itself. So if you're cutting chicken and you don't want to contaminate the vegetables that you're going to cut next, you can pretty much just wash off the wood and you're good, because wood has that property that it sanitizes itself. Now, if you have a plastic cutting board and you cut chicken on it and then you turn around and you don't really scrub it really good and clean it, and then you could cross contaminate your vegetables with the chicken. I don't know if you knew that, but I knew that. Health, food safety. So that's a big, honestly, and it is true. So it's a big thing about wood items that you're going to cook with, like these spoons, is yes, you still wash them. I'm not saying you don't wash them,
but you don't put them in the dishwasher.
But you don't put them in the dishwasher, and the wood, the properties in the wood itself will cleanse itself, so you don't have to worry about the food contamination. So that's a beautiful thing about wood, and that's why most cutting boards are made out of wood.
Every bakery, your work table's wood.
Yes,
Maple.
exactly.
Maple.
And and that's why, because So
scrub it with salt and vinegar.
So don't forget, you got two opportunities to come see George, see his beautiful work, and maybe pick out a Christmas gift for somebody that you care about.
Two times this year yet.
Yeah, 2 times.
And then starting in January, I'll be at the mall for the first Saturday.
So if you don't go this Saturday or the 17th, you've lost all opportunity till next year. We can say. So, okay, Ethelberger Center, Christmas Bazaar. Thank you, Eric. Man, see, look at that. Is Eric awesome?
That's awesome.
Eric's awesome. Got all the
Look
dates.
for First Joy Woodcuts.
Yeah. What's the name?
First Joy Woodcuts.
First Joy Woodcuts. Okay. Do you have a website by any chance?
No.
Okay.
I'm computer challenged.
Okay. We can help you with that. If you ever decide to do that, just let us. Anybody.
I know enough to be dangerous.
Okay. If you ever decide, you're a member of our network. So if you ever decide you want a website, there's plenty of us that could assist you.
All right.
And I'm not super tech savvy, but I do know how to do a website with a template. Not from scratch, but I can use a template and build a website.
Some of those are pretty difficult. My wife does some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we got, what else you make? You got spoons?
Oh,
What else you make?
I do little caricatures, but I didn't bring any of those.
Like figurines?
Yeah, but most of them are like one-offs, and I've got them in a curio cabinet at home. I don't like to sell them. There's too much work goes into them, and you can't get your money out. I mean, it's the time involved.
Right.
A spoon like this, from start to finish, is about 5 hours worth of work.
Wow.
And I sell them for $25. So I'm making $5 an hour.
Wow.
But I do it because I love it.
And we've talked about this with our other guests that work with wood, because it is a common misconception with a lot of people. They come in and they see something like this and they go, oh, well, that's too much money. And they don't stop and think, this is not something that was factory made.
Right.
This is handmade. Like you said, 5 hours worth of labor plus the material, which is maple wood. It's not, pine. And people get that misconception with a lot of wood items that are handcrafted.
Any type of handmade item, you can't get your money out for the time you put into it. It's just you do it because you love it.
Yeah. So, yeah. So there you go. So the spoons. What else are you going to have there on Saturdays? These next 2 Saturdays coming up.
I didn't bring any along, but I also make cigars.
You make cigars.
Wooden cigars.
Okay, you have to explain that one.
They look real.
Uh-huh.
I've fooled cigar smokers, and I have more fun with them. I never smoked, but I'll go into a restaurant with a cigar, and I'll say to the waitress, "Can I have an ashtray?" And of course, they say, "You can't smoke in here." So I'll grind it out in my hand and stick it in my pocket, and you get these big eyes.
Okay, so George is a little mischievous here. You like it?
If you know someone real particular with their furniture, you can go and lay it down on the edge of the table and then walk away and wait for a reaction.
Okay. Okay, so now we just found the truth. He's a little bit of a practical joker in a fun way. Just a fun way.
Oh yeah.
So you make these cigars just for?
I have more fun with them.
Okay.
So I'll have some of those there. But mostly my spoons and my walking sticks is what I take to shows.
Okay. And you sell walking sticks?
Yes.
Yeah. You sell those and the spoons. And
no two alike.
Now, what if somebody came in to your like maybe Saturday and they had a request? What would you do? They said, "Hey, can you make me this out?" What if they said, "Hey, can you make me a fork with the spoon?" Or something like that.
A long time ago, when I first started carving, I had a lady come up to me at a dog show, and she wanted something like this with her 2 dogs on it. Now, I'm a rank amateur. This is a hobby for me. And I told her, I said, "No, I won't do 2 dogs on the same plaque." And she said, "Why?" I said, "Well, if I make the one and screw the other one up, then I got to go back and start over again. And I lose all that time." I said, "I'll make you 2 plaques." No, she wanted 2 dogs on the one. So after I got done with that show, I did some of these for people in our dog club because they were friends, but I don't like to take orders because it's hard to come up to someone else's expectations.
Gotcha.
Something that I do and I like, they might not. And if it's their dog or something, it doesn't look quite right. I do the best I can.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't like it, then I'm stuck with it.
Gotcha.
So what I do
and it's not your dog.
Yeah. It's not my
So you
dog.
don't care about it.
Yeah. So I make things that I like, and if somebody likes them and wants to buy them, fine.
Makes sense.
But I try not to take special orders.
So if they go to your
now on these are special because everyone's different, and we make them just for the vet. So it's personalized for them. So in that case, I do take orders for those.
Okay. I think that's fair. I think that makes sense to me. So if they come see you on Saturday, if they like what you got, they'll buy it. But don't say, "Hey, can you make me something a little different?" No.
I was at the mall last month, and a lady came up and she liked this style spoon, but she was left-handed. And I normally have left-handed spoons because my wife's left-handed, but I was out of them. So she said, "Could you make me a left-handed spoon?" She says, "I'll pick it up at the Ethel Burger Center." And I said, "Sure." But
that's a little
that's different.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So do we have any comments? Any haven't been looking. Look for first story woodcuts. Nope. Nobody's asking any comments. Nice. Keep up the good work. All right. No comments, no questions right now. So Eric, you got any questions? This is a man who just does all kinds of stuff for other people.
Well, you did say the cigars. That's always a good thing. I like the cigars. I'm gonna get one of the cigars. But usually, whenever I see him at his table, I have to go back to my table.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually there at the same time, but I'm not doing anything this for the month of December, so I'll be able to travel in there unless she says, "Hey, we got an opening." Oh.
Oh yeah,
Now-
because you're in the mall too. Are you going to be in the mall the
Yeah.
same day?
Yeah, we started. We met one another when last year it was the last one of the season.
Outside in the cold, we
had
froze
the-
to death.
We had the unique honor of being outside. It was.
Yeah, that was my first time there. That was my first time there.
And that was the first time I brought the tent out. It was first time there. It's like actually, it was like, wow, but it's nice to be inside.
Now, one other place that I have my things is the art center, Wachuga Art Center.
Oh, okay, across the street.
Right
The one
across
right
street
across
from
street here.
Yeah, I have things
oh,
over
you're
there.
in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, me and my wife stopped in there because it's right across the street one time when we came to the meetings here at the Warrior Healing Center, and yeah, I was all local artists.
Yeah.
They're
And-
not veterans.
Some are.
No, I mean the owners of the
No,
art center. Because I wish they were, otherwise we'd have them in our network. You know, but
They have some paintings in here, from what I understand.
from across the
From
street.
across the
Yep.
street, yeah,
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna put in a plug for them.
sure.
You know, because it is a really, I mean,
It's the best kept secret in Sierra
is.
Vista because most people don't know it's there.
it's a cute little art center right across the street from the Warrior Healing Center. The owners aren't veterans, but they support because they got a lot of veteran artists that like yourself.
Yeah.
That and it's on a consignment basis.
It's a consignment shop. Yeah.
Yeah, consignment shops. You go in there, you find a piece of art that you like, and you can purchase that, and you know,
The talent of the artists in that place amazes me.
they
just blow me
there's
away.
some good, and you're getting art from a local artist, and it's going to be a one of a kind,
Yep.
a unique piece of art.
They're all original.
Yeah.
They're not prints.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, we're putting in a plug. What's the name of the place again?
It's the Wachuga Arts Association.
Wachuca Arts Association, and right across the street from the Warrior Healing Center. And if you don't know where the Warrior Healing Center is, shame on you, because you should know by now. We've been so. Eric, can we just put up a plug for the address here at the Warrior Healing Center, if you don't mind? Since I'm talking about the location and the art center right across the street.
Since you're name dropping. Yeah, I got
Yeah, I'm name dropping. Okay. It's the street from the. Yes. Oh, that's good. The Warrior Healing Center is right across the street from the watch. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. That's good. That's a good comment. Yeah. It's all matter of perspective.
Yes.
Right? The matter of perspective. So lots of Christmas ideas. Buy local. Find those unique items. Quit going online and buying something that's made in China and for your family. I mean, seriously, I'm honest. I do this every week. Eric knows. Almost every week, I get on a soapbox.
No.
I get on a
nothing wrong with that.
soapbox. I get on a soapbox. There's a lot of talent right here in Sierra Vista.
Tremendous amount.
Tremendous talent. We have artists. We have woodworkers. We have a lot of different veteran businesses. Do your Christmas shopping locally and try to find those unique items that are handmade keepers. Not something you're going to throw away in 6 months, but something you buy. Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I buy this spoon. It's a keeper. I mean, I would never ever throw it away. It would be something you would keep for the rest of your life. And that's value.
Yeah, if you take care of it, it will last forever.
And it will last forever, yeah. Unless you go smacking people on the head with it. Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, I hated wooden spoons because that was my mother's tool
Yep.
of choice.
Yeah.
And I met one of those quite frequently.
Well,
and
he was mischievous as a kid too. See?
Believe it or not, I didn't hate my parents because of it. But one time she broke a wooden spoon over me, and then I got it twice as bad because I broke her spoon.
Oh, yeah. Now you broke my spoon.
So as much as I hated them, now I'm making them. So
No, my mom never. It was my dad. So my mom was the one who said, "Okay, wait till your dad gets home."
Well, when my mother said that, I knew I was going to get it.
Yeah,
My dad was a bus driver, and he had a big, wide leather belt. And I didn't meet that too often, but if I was really bad and mom couldn't handle it, she'd say, "Wait till your dad gets home."
yep, yeah. That was my mom, and then you knew. And dad didn't. There was no question. If he walked in the door, and my mom said,
Yeah.
there was no debate, no question. Like,
No.
no explanation. It was just automatic. You're going to get it. Now I got to say, I was a teenager. I'd grown. I'd gotten and I don't know. Remember what it was I was doing? My mom was home alone with me, and I said something, or I didn't. I said something out of line, and my mom slapped me. And it was the only time my mom ever slapped me. And it shocked me so bad that I suddenly realized that I just said something so rude that my mother had to slap me. And it put me out. I was about this tall when I was done.
Yeah.
After she slapped me, I was about this tall. I just felt like oh no.
My stepdaughter, as a teenager, got real smart mouthed. And we were in a restaurant one time with my mother-in-law and my stepdaughter sitting across the table from us. And she was back talking to her mother. And I said, "You better watch it." And she kept it up. And all of a sudden, my wife went across the table, cracked one across her face. And she didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I said, "See, I told you, you got to watch your mouth."
Yeah. And that is not child abuse.
No.
What we're talking about is just old-fashioned discipline, which
It never hurt a bit.
you never heard a bit, and it works.
Yes.
It was so effective from my mom. It was a wake up. It was like, obviously I was a teenager, didn't like hurt what hurt, but you know what I mean.
And when you got that, wait till your dad gets home.
Yeah.
The anticipation of
Yeah,
knowing what was coming was worse.
Yeah, it could be 3-4 hours of
Yeah.
pure torture.
Yeah, oh
It
yeah.
was like, okay, I know it's gonna happen. There's no way out of it. I just have to wait. And then he'd come home. You're like, okay, this is it. This is it.
I had my granddaughter at the grocery store one time. She was probably 3 or 4, I don't remember. And I put the stuff up to check out, and it was the middle of the afternoon. The store wasn't busy. I put stuff up on the counter, and she took off running. And she's hiding behind the end of the aisle. I said to the lady, I said, "I'll be right back." I ran up the aisle, and of course she ran around, and we played hide and seek for a while. And I finally got a hold of her, and I cracked her across the bottom, and I set her up on the counter. And the lady that was checking us out, she says, "I wish more people would do that."
Yeah. Times have changed, but not for us.
I'd be in jail.
I know.
Raising kids now.
Yeah.
Well, kids are so, I don't know, street smart now.
They are.
Well,
They
to
are.
a point of you do anything like that, I'm going to call the cops on you.
Yeah.
And if they do, what do you say? You've got no recourse, really.
Yeah. That's
And
okay.
It's a shame.
Well, if you want to live somewhere else, go ahead and make that phone call. That's what I always told my kids.
Yeah.
Go ahead, make that phone call because you'll be living somewhere else. You may not like it there. It'll be probably 10 times worse than living with us. So go ahead and make that phone call.
Yeah.
And you'll regret it the rest of your life. So, but they don't think about the rest of their life. They just think about the moment.
Yeah.
And no, times have changed. That's for sure. I'm with you. We'd probably both be in jail right now for racing. Yeah.
Well, just,
Now,
my
Eric
kids-
never got in any trouble growing up because he was a perfect kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. He probably never got disciplined. Nothing.
That spoon again.
Yeah.
I recognize it too. I recognize quite a few things. Sure, on my body, I have a couple of different types of wood on me.
Ingrained in your.
Maple, lumber, plywood,
It's still there, huh?
some things leave an everlasting impression. Right about here, maybe a little here.
But you didn't hate your
Thanks,
parents
Ma.
because of it. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, what else? Yeah, good stories though.
Well, I'll tell one on myself now. The worst
Okay.
whooping I ever got was from my grandmother, and she was a saint. It took a lot to get her mad, but I did something. I don't even remember what I did, but I was probably about 5 or 6, and she gave me a pair of clippers, and she says, "Go down and get a switch off the apple tree." So I went down and I looked and I picked the skinniest one I could find, brought it up and gave it to her, and she said, "Now take the leaves off." So I stripped the leaves off and handed it back to her. And I'm thinking, I've got smacked with bigger stuff across the butt before that didn't hurt. I had shorts on, and she caught me on the back of the leg. And did I ever dance? I'll never forget that. Yeah. Next time I would get one, yay big.
Yep. Yeah, you can't outsmart her. You
Mm-mm.
thought you were a little kid. I'm gonna be clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, and no, our whole childhoods were not like this. It was just when we did stupid stuff.
Yeah.
We did stupid stuff, and you know,
I
but
never got a whooping I didn't deserve.
Yeah. and sometimes send a message too. Like my kids growing up always tell me, you know, I discipline them because if your child decides to run across the street and they don't hear, when they hear that certain voice, they should freeze. I wanted to instill in them, if you hear,
it's usually the middle name.
yeah,
that
but
makes the
but it's
impression.
also the tone in their father. If I say yell with a certain tone, they know to freeze, and it could save their life.
Yeah.
Because you know, when they're little tiny toddlers and they decide to take off, and you don't have that ability to stop them with a voice, and next thing you know, they're getting hit by a car, and you're like, oh, I should have maybe disciplined them a little more so they wouldn't, or you know, they would have stopped when I told them to. So it's all important, but no, it's not beating your child. It's loving your child, not wanting anything to happen to them.
One of the things I taught my kids when they were little was if they get lost, or if I get lost from them, not to run around and look for me, to grab onto the nearest pole and hang on until I find you. Because you in a grocery store, they're going up one aisle, you're going up another, and you never find each other. So when my stepdaughter was probably 4, we were down in Baltimore at Inner Harbor, and it was crowded, and she got separated from us. And my wife, she panics and she starts.
Oh yeah.
I said, just call me. If she listened to me, we'll find her. I said, you go that way, I'll go this way. Here she is, hugging this pole, standing next to the biggest, blackest cop I have ever seen. And he's trying to get her to go to the office. And she says, no. She says, Daddy George told me stay here until she finds me. So we found her in a matter of minutes. But I think everybody should teach their kids that.
No,
because the kids will run around and you'll never find them.
I failed to teach my girls purposely love to hide in, you know, you go to the store, the clothing racks.
Yeah.
And you panic. You
Yeah.
1 minute they're in your eyesight, the next minute where's Jay? And you're looking all over for them, and they just in there giggling, thinking,
peeking out.
Yeah, they think it's fun. And yeah, for a parent, it's a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
You're just, you know, we don't do that. But yeah, they did that when they were little.
What was that? What's the most difficult thing I've carved?
Yeah. Oh, we got to get. Yeah, we kind of did get off the wood subject, didn't we?
Design item you have carved. Oh, geez.
He's
The
thinking.
human face,
Ooh, that would be hard.
especially females.
Really?
And female face is very, very hard to carve. Why, I don't know. But every face I carve comes out looking like a man. It just yeah.
Well, that's not a good thing.
Well,
Yeah. So interesting.
favorite item to
Interesting.
make. Favorite item to make. Oh, geez, that's like saying which is your favorite kid. Oh,
The last one.
yeah.
That was good, Eric. That was good.
Well, I started out doing relief carving. This is called relief carving, where you take a flat piece of wood and carve a design into it. And this is a little. This is called. There's a name for this. It's a pierced carving, I guess it would be, because it without the mirror it goes straight through. But I started carving just relief carving because that's all I knew, and then I got started doing things in the round, and I can visualize this. The thing about relief carving is you're trying to make something look three dimensional when it's only like half inch, three quarters of an inch deep, and you do that by perspective. And what I mean by that is, if you look at this eye is smaller, so it looks like it's farther away.
Gotcha.
And if you look at this thing sideways, it really looks weird. It's not going to show up too well.
Yeah.
It doesn't look right. But
Right.
when you look at it straight on,
No, you're
you
right.
get that three dimensional. So any relief carving is made to look at right straight on.
No, that was a good example. What
Yeah.
you did. I mean, that was real clear.
It
You
just-
look like that.
it
It's like
just-
that's nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a dog.
And then you turn around and it's like, wow, that's. And actually, wow, the camera, the relief shows up really good. I mean, that almost looks semi-realistic. Yeah. Wow.
Now, when people give me pictures of dogs, I always want a 3/4 shot where they're looking, like 3/4 away from you. Because if you try and do a dog that's looking straight at you, there's no way to get the nose long enough. You can't get that depth
Right.
because you're only working with, a very thin piece of wood. So
And this is all stuff you just learned from. Did you
my
take?
dad was a good artist. I can't draw bathwater, but I can carve. Why, I don't know.
So you learned this stuff from your dad's art.
I
Because the
learned-
principles are the same.
I learned perspective from him.
Yeah.
And if you look at a kid's picture of, say, he's drawing his house, all the windows will be the same size.
Hmm.
When you look at a house, the windows that are farther away from you are smaller. Like looking at railroad tracks, and the railroad tracks come together in
Right.
the distance. So that's perspective, and you've got to use that, especially when you're doing relief carving, to try and get the look of depth when you don't actually have it.
And you enjoy that,
I love it. I love it.
obviously. Yeah. Answering her question. You enjoy that. That's your favorite thing one of your favorite things to make. We won't limit it because you got other children.
When I first started doing shows, I was doing all relief carving, and then I started on canes and walking sticks. And you go to a show, and I'd sit there all day, and I wouldn't sell any walking sticks because not everybody wants one, and I needed something smaller,
Mhm.
less expensive to move. So I started making spoons, and everybody can use a spoon.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's how I got into spoon making.
Did we ever put up the website for the applications for the canes? Let's do that now,
Okay,
just in case people forgot.
caneclub.org.
The American National
Cane
Cane Club.
Caneclub.org is our.
There you go.
All right.
See how good, yeah. Eric said, see?
The way this got started, a club in Oklahoma decided to do presentation canes for the guys coming back from the Gulf War. And they couldn't get any information out of the Department of Defense because of the HIPAA rules.
Mm,
So they put an ad in our national newsletter asking for any vets in Oklahoma that needed a cane. And I saw that and I thought, hey, that's something we can do. So I contacted them and they said, if we make a bunch of canes and send them to them, they'll distribute them through Walter Reed and whatever, the hospitals. And I said, I want to keep it a little closer to home. So we started working with the VA in London, PA. And that's how we got started. So I think total, we've probably done 260 canes so far that we've given away.
yep. So if you're out there, need a cane, if you need a cane, Now, not just want a cane, because I want a cane, but I don't need a cane. There's a difference.
Yes.
There's a big difference between I want one and I could really use it.
I just had to turn down a lady from New Jersey. She wanted a cane for her husband. And she sent the application with his DD 214 and his obituary.
Huh.
And I thought, I can't open up this can of worms. You know, that opens it up to everybody in the world.
Yeah.
So I called her and I explained, I says, I'm sorry, I have to turn you down, but I just can't do that because your husband's deceased. I'd be more than glad to make one if he was still alive, but I can't do it for someone that's passed away. And she says, no, she says, I understand. And I said, now you sent a check along to cover postage and whatever. She sent a $50 check. And I said, do you want me to shred the check or send it back? She says, no. She says, keep it. You do good work. She says, just put it to work. So we do accept, because the shipping cost on canes, when I first started, I could ship a cane anywhere in the country for about $10. The last one I shipped was $34.90, I think. And the last walking stick we sent was 43 something. So
you take donations.
Shipping costs have gone up, so we accept donations to cover shipping costs because not everybody can afford it. You know.
Okay. So in there, can they make a donation at the same website?
Yes.
Caneclub.org.
Caneclub.org.
Okay. So you could either do your application for somebody that needs a cane, a veteran that needs a cane, or you can make a donation to help a veteran that needs a cane and to help cover shipping and
we are a nonprofit organization.
Okay. So there you go. Excellent. So we got the 10th at the Ethel
Burger
Center, the 17th at the mall. We got the website up there for veterans to get canes. You got the spoons that are going to be available at both those events, and canes that will be available. No, you don't get to buy. You can buy the dragon cane for $3,000. We just upped it. But you will have canes there that will for sale, and they would have to find one that's about the right height for them.
Because I can make them shorter, but I can't make them longer.
You can't make them, because that's important to get the right height. Well, because if a cane's a little too long, you can just hold it down a little lower. But if it's too short, there's nothing you can do.
No.
You're and you're going to have problems. Especially if you know, I always complain because I'm getting older too. You thought I was a young guy, didn't you? But I'm getting older too. I'm not old. He's got me beat. We're not going to mention it, but he's got me beat. I mean, if you look at the two of us, you can't really tell that you got me beat by that many years. But he does. But
my baby boy's 56.
56. Yeah. But I'm 6'2". The bathroom sink. I have to bend over to brush my teeth.
Yeah.
And at my age now, my back hurts.
Sure.
I have back problems.
Yeah.
And I was like, why can't they make a sink that's the right level so I don't have to bend over?
Because the next person that goes to your house is going to be short.
It's going to be short.
And then you got
and you don't really notice when you're young, but now that I'm older and I have back problems, I notice it every day. I'm like, why can't they raise this sink up so I don't have to bend over to brush my teeth?
Yeah.
And I'm not that tall. I'm 6'2". I mean, well, I'm probably shrunk now, but it's not like I'm one of them basketball players that's 7 something.
Oh, football players.
Or football players.
Football players used to be short. Linemen were always short and stocky.
Yeah.
Braves now they're 6'5".
Yeah. Yeah. What does a basketball player do in a normal house where all the sinks are made for people that are 5'7"? What do well, of course, if you have a lot of money, they probably have custom made stuff to raise it up.
And they got higher doors.
And higher. Oh yeah. So they don't hit their head.
Yeah.
So, we're about out of time.
All right.
We're out of time. George, thank you.
No
This
problem.
was very enjoyable seeing your woodwork. And again, I want to thank you. The service that you give to other people is amazing.
My pleasure.
You are an altruistic individual.
I love it.
and he gets his reward by helping other people. But you can have the opportunity to purchase his fine woodwork, and I'm telling you, these spoons are wonderful. Just, I mean, you got to feel them. You got to go to the shop and just touch them, pick them up, and fill them. They're one of a kind, handcrafted. Christmas time, you got some gifts right there. And you can go see Eric too on the 17th when he's at the mall, if you want. Yeah.
I'm just gonna be walking around.
Okay.
Before we head out, just got a couple admin notes. In talking about football, this Saturday over at the Warrior Healing Center, we will have the Army-Navy tailgate chili cook-off. So it will kick off at 10 o'clock, the tailgate party, and 1300, 1 p.m. for the civilian AU will be the kickoff for the game. So by all means, come on out this Saturday if you're not doing anything and enjoy the festivities, the fun, the chili, and all the smack talking that Army and Navy will be doing to one another, while Air Force is more than likely off to the side going, these guys are crazy. Mentioned him by name. Woo, but, and also on the 21st, wrong. Okay. Eventually I'll figure it out. I've been away for a couple of weeks. But on the 21st, we will be having the VOP Veterans.
Are you mute?
The VOP Christmas party over at Doc's Watering Hole. It'll be from 12 to 3. By all means, come on out. Check out the Warrior Healing Center Facebook page. Look for the link. I'm sure it'll be put up again because you will have to register prior to coming over. So 12 to 3 on the 21st over at Doc's Watering Hole, Christmas party, VOP Christmas party, and this Saturday, starting off at 10, is the Army-Navy Chili Cook-Off Tailgate Party.
All right.
Oh, go Army beat Navy. So,
Yeah.
What's up?
He's got
a cane over here. What's up?
Yeah, he's got a cane. Yeah.
It'll probably be that way this year.
Yeah.
Navy's not doing too well.
I don't know. Don't be surprised by what the Army can do. I've seen a couple games. Oh, they'll win.
Yeah. So a lot going on. Of course, it's December. There's a lot going on everywhere. It's a full house. I can't make it Saturday. I got to drive all the way up to Phoenix and get those chocolates for everybody. So I'm going to miss out on Saturday.
You have priorities, sir. Get those chocolates.
I do. Well, yes, and yeah, the wife determines. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're not going to lose a household. You're going to lose a household 6.
So,
keep Mama happy.
again, we're glad to be back, and we'll be here next week. We do have a guest planned for next week.
And who is that guest?
Oh, you're not going to get to know because you just don't get to know that.
Actually, we really don't know.
No, actually, I do know who's supposed to be here next week. But I'm not telling you. You got to tune in if you want to find out. And again, sorry that we missed last week. Technical difficulty. Nothing we could do about it. The internet was down.
If you do want to know who's coming on next week, by all means, get with me. But, it's going to cost you. Oh,
Yeah.
Selfless plugs. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. You deserve it. Yeah. And I'm still drinking the drink. So anyway, we'll sign off. Let's shut down and see you next week.